Welcome to This Week in High School Sports. I'm Teresa Whipple, and Steve Willits, happy spring to you. First day of spring.
It's here already, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And that means spring sports, and we'll be talking very shortly about softball and an interview with a couple of our star softball players. But first, we need to, as always, talk about our sponsor, Carrie Krause. So Carrie wants you to know that regardless of the real estate transaction, she is here to help you 100%. Whether it's a single-family residential, multifamily, condo, vacant land, commercial property, or even a business opportunity, Carrie can assist you. And even if she can't help, she will refer you to the best person for the job. Carrie takes pride in her work ethic and will go the extra mile to be sure that your buying or selling experience is positive. So call, text, or email anytime with questions or to get her working for you toward your real estate goals. So Steve, talk about softball.
Yeah, we have 4 softball teams in the district who all had records over 500 last year, all had winning seasons. Each of those teams bringing back a lot of talent, and it showed in the first week. All 4 of our teams had wins in which they defeated one of their opponents by double-digit runs. Linwood defeated Cascade 12-1. Mount Lake Terrace defeated Ferndale 16-0. Edmonds-Woodway, and I believe we have a picture right there of Jackie Lovelace, the catcher, trapping a ball in the dirt there. Edmonds-Woodway defeated Mariner 14-0. And then Meadowdale, who last year finished 3rd in the state tournament, defeated Kamiak 16-1. And rather than give you details about that game, we thought we'd bring a couple of their players in, a couple of their star players, by the way, for a quick interview. Here was a conversation I had with Sam Gregoryk and Julia Reuble just a little while ago. And joining me right now, 2 members of the Meadowdale Maverick softball team, 2 members who have played on the team for 4 years, 4-year starters, I might add. 2 of those 3 years, they finished 3rd place in state. Sam Gregoryk and Julia Reuble are with us. And first of all, congratulations on all the successes in the past.
Thank
3
you.
different trips to state already for you down in Lacey. Sam, I'll start with you. Huge home run, I know, in the district championship game your freshman year. You've been in that starting lineup ever since. Tell me a little bit about what it's like to be on this Meadowdale Maverick team that's had so much success.
So, our team chemistry is pretty good. We've all been together for a long time. I know I can trust one another, and, that's what makes our team so good is the team chemistry we have, having each other's backs, stuff like that. So I think that's why we're so successful.
And you know you're going to have each other's backs when it's a family affair. Julia, you used to play with your sister Alyssa when you were a freshman, and she was a senior. Finished in 3rd place that year. Do you guys ever talk a little bit about what it would be like to maybe finally get a state championship?
Yeah, we always talk about it and how great it'd be, and I don't know, we were always just in it together and stuff like that, so it was very cool.
Yeah, and besides Alyssa, you've had a lot of other great players come through the program. You lost 3 seniors from last year's team that were very good, all 3 infielders, in Sierra Hart, Haley Taylor, and also Haley Costello. Tell us a little bit about what the infield's going to look like this year and how you're going to replace those 3. Maybe Julie, do you want to start with that one?
Well, we replaced the middle infield. I'm playing second, and we have a transfer from Kamiak that's going to play short, and so she was kind of a blessing to come in.
Yes.
And yeah, we love her. She's amazing.
And her name?
Her name is Lauren Wallace.
Okay.
Yeah, and so so we're going to be playing up middle, and Sam is going to be playing corners, and Mackenzie Bevan is going to be playing 3rd. So.
And how about the pitching staff? Sam, you're a big part of that.
Yes, I'm still pitching this year, and I'm pitching with our junior Lauren Dent, so we're going to be splitting time. This year we're going to be pretty strong, I think.
And if you ever need a 3rd pitcher, I know this one here can
Yes.
still throw it a little bit too.
Yeah. I still got a little bit in me.
Well, now talk to us about the season coming up. I know you've already defeated Kamiak in your first game, 16-1. Wesco fairly strong this year. I know there's one team in particular that you played in mid-April, an Everett Seagulls team that finished 2nd in state last year. What does Wesco look like as a whole, and who are the main competitors this year?
I think Woodway and definitely Everett are going to be pretty tough this year. We're going to have to play on our toes the whole time, just being ready, go back for revenge and get Everett, I think.
Yeah. Just ready every game.
Sure.
Yeah. Yep.
Now, you talked about being cohesive and having chemistry with your teammates. You 2 have played together for quite a while, right?
Yes.
How long have you 2 known each other, and how long have you been playing softball together?
A long time,
Yeah.
1st grade.
I think when we met is when we first started playing softball together.
Yeah, our sisters played together.
Yeah.
And then our families have just been really close since then. So, yeah.
Yep.
So is this a group, a team that has a lot of fun together? Do they enjoy each other's company off the field as well?
Yes. I have like all my best friends on that team.
Yeah,
so.
we've all through all the years that I've been in on varsity and everything, it's best friends. Like we can go to each other for everything, and it's a pretty amazing thing that we have.
Now let's talk about your college choices. You're both planning on playing softball next year. You've both already committed. Julie, I'll start with you. Your sister Alyssa, already over at Seattle U. I guess you're going to keep it a little easier on mom and dad, and you're also going to stay in state, right? You're going to
Yes.
Central Washington.
Yeah.
What played into that decision?
I don't know. It kind of like almost popped out of the blue a little bit for me. I wasn't really expecting to go there. I don't know. My sights were set a little bit somewhere else, but then I don't know. They had a coaching change, and I loved him. I fell in love with him the first time I met him, and it was just a perfect fit for me when I went down and visited, and I liked it a lot. So.
Now, I know it's D2 versus D1, but do you think we'll see any Seattle U Central Washington matchups perhaps
Yes,
in the
we
future?
play one time during the fall preseason, so it'll be fun to play against my sister.
So it could be Reuble versus Reuble next year.
Yeah.
And then Sam, for you, you're heading off to Southern California. Talk to us a little bit about your school and what played into your decision.
So I'm going to Cal State San Marcos, and then it's in Southern California, and it's a D2. And I think I was just drawn to there. Like, I love the school. It's very pretty. It's in Southern California, which is another bonus. But just there's really good like competitors down there. Like a lot of like Southern California girls are like super competitive. Like they play outside every day, and like it's gonna be a challenge, but I'm ready for it.
So they will be heading off next year to play college softball, but first, a lot left this season. These two have lost 2 games over 3 years in Westco play. 42-2 is their overall record during that time, and I think they're looking to even expand upon that. 30 seconds for each of you. Sam, give me a little bit of a scouting report on Julia. What does she do well?
Well, she can hit the ball. I know that. So, hitting-wise, I think that she can either hit a home run or move the runners, which is always good. And then in the field, whenever I'm playing first, and like even in the Kamiak game, like it's super easy to talk to her. Like I always feel like I can trust her. I know where she's going. Like it's just a good thing to have.
And Julia, tell me a little bit about Sam's game.
Sam's bat is also always on fire, so that's another thing that is amazing. She always lets people know, like, this is what we're doing, this is how, like, we're going to do it, and, like, this is what the pitcher's pitching. And so it's easy as a senior to have that leadership role that she goes into. So, and she does it pretty well, and I can always trust her on the field, so that's amazing.
There you go. And I'll tell you right now, they're both being modest. These two are superstars. They're going to have another big year this year. So Meadowdale, again, 1-0 to start the season. Huge season coming up. Best of luck to both of you, and I would imagine we're probably going to see you in districts and possibly at the state tournament at Lacey.
Yep.
Julia
Thank
Reuble,
you.
Sam Gregoryk,
Thank you.
thank you very much.
Thanks.
Looks like Meadowdale's in for another strong season, and in fact, we have a lot of softball action coming up this week, don't we?
We do. Quite a few of our teams playing each other. Meadowdale, as you mentioned, playing 3 games this week, one of which is Friday at Mount Lake Terrace. And then earlier in the week, Mount Lake Terrace and Edmonds-Woodway will be playing each other Thursday, also at Mount Lake Terrace.
Okay. And on the baseball side, there were quite a few interesting games last week, and we have some things coming up this week, too.
Yeah, one game in particular from last week was Friday. Mount Lake Terrace and Meadowdale, who had also played earlier in the week against non-conference opponents, kicked off their conference season on Friday. Games are usually 7 innings long. This one took a little bit longer to determine a winner. Great game, though. Tied 4-4, heading into the 9th inning. So this is a 7-inning game.
Right.
Meadowdale scores 3 runs in the top of the 9th. Mount Lake Terrace answers with 3 in the bottom of the 9th. Game goes to the 12th inning, where Meadowdale finally comes away with a 9-7 victory. So little extra action over there at Mount Lake Terrace High School, and the Meadowdale Mavericks get off to the 1-0 start in conference play. Should also mention some other games. Linwood did defeat Shorecrest 4-1 on Friday, so they start their season off with a victory. And Edmonds-Woodway, and I believe we have a picture of Nick Hull, if we want to put that up. There's Nick sliding into base. Edmonds-Woodway getting 2 non-conference victories the other day, one against Lake Stevens and the other against Jackson, who's always a tough opponent.
Right. And, you know, it's interesting. We had a lot of conversation in basketball season about a player named David Woodard, who we just happened to be able to bring into the studio. But the segue with baseball is he's actually playing baseball this year.
Yeah, we just did an interview with David, and we'll get to that in a moment, where he does talk about that Jackson game. He played a pretty vital part in the outcome of that 2-1 victory. But we bring up David because he was busy over the weekend playing in the All-State high school basketball game, which can be anywhere. It moves around from year to year. This particular year, it happens to be over at Mount Lake Terrace High School. So David was part of the 3A All-Star team. It's the second largest classification in the state. They played the 4A All-Stars. A very exciting game. The final score was 138 to 136. A lot of offense, not very much defense.
High scoring game.
Crazy game, and David had played well. I think he had 17 points in that game. We decided to bring David in not only to talk about that game, but to also recap his basketball and football season, for that matter, and to also talk about baseball and the future for David Woodard and where he might end up and what he might be doing next year. Here's that interview. David, first of all, thank you for coming in today. Busy weekend for you, playing in the WIBCA All-State game. Talk to us a little bit about how that went. Some of the best players in state, but it sounds like a lot of guys that you already know a thing or two about.
Yeah, I've played against a lot of those guys pretty much my whole life. Grew up playing with them AAU throughout the summers, and it was just a lot of fun getting on the court with everybody, playing with some talented dudes, and it was just a lot of fun playing.
Final score of that game was 138 to 136, a lot of scoring. How competitive is that? I mean, I know you guys all kind of want to showcase your skills, but at the end of the game, is it about winning and losing?
I mean, it is about winning and losing, but I mean, it's an all-star game, so of course guys aren't going to be going as hard, but I mean, people are just trying not to get beat, trying not to look bad, so that's where the competitiveness comes from in the game like that. So I think that guys were just trying to show out, just showcase themselves, and it was a lot of fun.
And an interesting storyline in that game is that normally it's coached by the state champion coaches of the state. Bethea, the coach of Rainier Beach, couldn't make it, so they went with the team that finished in second, which was O'Day, which meant not only was Jason Kerr the O'Day coach there, but his assistant coach, Gene Woodard, was also on the sideline, who happens to be your brother.
Yeah.
What was that experience like?
It was just a lot of fun. You know, my brother coached me my sophomore and junior year, and you know we've been close throughout our whole lives because he's my big brother. Look up to him. So I mean, being able to play my final high school game under my brother, you know, being able to sit with him on the bench, and you know him yelling at me to go get a rebound or him yelling at me to hustle back, is just, I mean, it was a lot of fun. Like, just enjoyed it a lot.
Well, much more enjoyable than when you played against him a couple weeks ago, right? I know.
Yeah, that was really tough for the both of us. I mean, I remember after we beat Montlake Terrace in the district championship, he texted me and he was like, "I'm dreading having to play you guys." So when we found out the raffle and we had to play each other, you know, the whole week he was just like, we were just stressing about it a little bit. I mean, it was fine once we got onto the court playing, but I mean, it was just emotional for both of us because, I mean, it's lose-lose situation. If he wins, then my season's over. You know, if they lose, then his season's over. So I mean, it was just a tough situation, but I mean, that's just how life is sometimes. So
definitely. So it's good that it worked out to where their last high school basketball game was with each other.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about the previous seasons here at Edmonds-Woodway. I should say seasons meaning fall and winter. You transferred from O'Day this year, but really you transferred into a situation that you were fairly familiar with. You grew up around here, right?
Yeah, you know, I went to Woodway Elementary before it closed down, so I grew up with a lot of dudes. And then when that school closed down, I went to Sherwood, so I knew even more people. So a lot of the people like Isaac Jackson, who I played football with, I've known him my whole life. I've known Jordan Rice, known all those dudes for a long time. So it's been easy to come into the school and just find a spot, be situated, have friends. So
you come in the fall and easy to get situated for the football season. You had a great year playing wide receiver. I know all Westco. And then you come into the basketball season, and I think one thing about your team, and you and I talked about it a little bit off the air, not only did you guys win the district championship, but I know when we would go to interview you guys sometimes after games, a lot of shenanigans happening behind us, a lot of laughter, a lot of guys goofing off. Are you guys having as much, or were you having as much fun out there as it looked?
Oh, we were having more fun than the camera could even see. Like, we were just every single day at practice. I mean, we were serious, you know, when we needed to be, but for most part, we were just having fun with each other, playing, joking around, laughing, just just having fun with each other. You know, it was just a fun experience.
So basketball wraps up, and now you've moved on to baseball. You're playing for the Warriors baseball team. Talk to us a little bit about that experience. I know you had an interesting situation in the Jackson game the other day, game that you guys won 2-1. You got yourself into a little bit of a pickle.
Yeah, I got into a pickle, but we were down 1. I knew that I had to score. There's 2 outs, so I kind of hesitated because the ball got past the catcher, so I got caught up, and I just had to try to make a play for my team. And I was able to dive through the catcher and get safe. So it was just fun, being able to do that for my team. It's a different role for me on the baseball team this year. Not being a starter, just having a smaller role. But I'm just excited to be a part of the team and to be able to help them out in whatever way I can. And if that means encouraging dudes on the bench, if that means just coming in and making plays like that, then I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Give us a little bit of a preview of the baseball team. What should we expect from the Warriors this year?
We have a really good defense. I know Brandon Mitchell, shortstop, he's really good. We have a bunch of good outfielders like Dominic and Reed Woodson. So I think we're gonna have a good team this year. So.
And then after spring, you might move on to college next year. You play all these sports. What are you looking to do maybe with your future?
Well, basketball is my main sport. It's the sport I've played my whole life, so I plan on playing that at the next level. Still got some visits to take. Still got new coaches coming, contacting me almost every day. So just gonna find a place that fits for me and something that I'm ready to go continue play 4 years more. So I'm just excited for what's to come.
The future's bright. So first, David's going to finish out the baseball season and graduate, and then we'll see where he goes with the basketball in the future. David, thank you for coming on with us.
Yep, thank you.
Great job this year, both in football and basketball, and continued success.
Yep, thank you.
Well, David Woodard is quite an athlete. We're really lucky to have him in our district.
Incredible athlete. Scored over 25 points per game for the basketball team this year. Certainly I would say the best basketball player in Wesco 3A, bar none this year. I had a great football season as well, and I have a feeling that by the time the baseball season's over, he's going to be a much larger part of that Warrior team than we are thinking he is right now. Obviously, baseball, not his first sport, but he's pretty gifted at whatever he does. I have a feeling we'll hear a lot more from David in the spring.
Yeah, I talked to him a little bit before he did his interview, and he mentioned that he had not even thought about trying out and had some of his basketball teammates talk him into it. And, of course, they're immediately putting him as a pitch runner, which is no big surprise with his speed.
Sure.
Yeah.
We will see. And other baseball news, too, I should mention. Meadowdale Terrace and Linwood are playing a 3-game series this week. You play everybody in your conference 3 times. You generally do that all in 1 week. So Meadowdale Terrace will be hosting Linwood on Wednesday, and we should be broadcasting that game on SoundLiveSportsNetwork.com, weather permitting. And then the other 2 games in that series will be at Linwood, both on Tuesday and Friday. Edmonds-Woodway also with a big series coming up. Shorewood, who's always in contention for the league title, they have a 3-game series with each other, and Linwood has the home games on Tuesday and Friday this week.
Okay, well, we'll keep our fingers crossed that the rain gods, or the sun gods, I guess, are with us to get those games in.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Always a challenge in March.
It is, for all those sports that play outdoors. So what else do we have coming up in terms of sports?
Yeah, certainly a lot of other sports going on right now. Soccer, Edmonds-Woodway with a 3-0 start to their season. They've won all 3 of their games. One other game that's worth noting, Linwood and Meadowdale Terrace played on Friday, and they played to a draw. So both of those teams getting off to a little bit of a slow start, but hey, a draw is better than a loss, right?
That's right.
Tennis is up and running right now. On the girls' side of things, we have Linwood and Meadowdale both with 2 early victories to start their season. These are non-conference matches, by the way, so they don't count in the standings yet, but certainly always better to start your season off with wins than losses, and the Royals and Mavs have done that. And they've got games coming up this week as well. A couple that are worth noting, Edmonds-Woodway versus Meadowdale Terrace on Wednesday. Meadowdale goes to Glacier Peak on Wednesday, and Linwood will host Shorewood on that same day. Track is in full swing. They just got rolling last week, so we will certainly keep everybody posted as to what's happening in the world of track, and there will be quite a bit of it. We have a lot of good athletes who, some of which won state titles last year and are back to defend those titles this year. Others that came awfully close last year and are coming back. So we'll certainly get those athletes in here either to talk to them in studio or to provide results. And then, of course, there's golf.
That's right.
Golf got underway this week. I know the Edmonds-Woodway girls defeated Meadowdale over at the Nile Country Club on Monday. Meadowdale turned around and defeated Marysville-Getchell later on in the week. So we'll have plenty of golf coming at you all spring long.
That's right. Okay. Well, thanks for joining us again, and we will see you next week on This Week in High School Sports.